Hi, so we'll be talking about sustainability and if it is still possible in the modern day. So my name is Simon.
I'm
And
you.
okay, so um, I think that the global discourse on environmental sustainability has already reached a critical juncture. So for decades, we have scientists and environmentalists and policymakers who have fervently advocated for responsible stewardship for our planet's resources. The rallying cry has been very clear to mitigate climate change, preserve biodiversity, and protect ecosystems. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is SDGs, they have set ambitious targets to address these pressing issues and create a more sustainable world for future generations. And yet, as we still stand on the this new era, it is increasingly apparent that we have already crossed a point of no return, a tipping point in the pursuit of environmental sustainability. The daunting reality emerges that it might be too late to avoid these environmental damages. My argument is that sustainability at this point is not possible anymore. So the term point of no return often conjures images of a dramatic decision, which that there is no coming back in the context of environmental sustainability. It encapsulates the idea that certain environmental processes, once triggered, may proceed irrevertibly. So while it is essential to note that this perspective is met uh, with its share of skepticism and debate, it underscores a deeply concerning trend. So over the years, our collective actions, driven by industrialization, urbanization, and sustainable resource consumption, have led to environmental changes and effects. So climate change, as we talk about the defining environmental challenges of our times, that serves as a bellwether for this alarming trend. The consensus among scientists and politicians is that human activities have substantially contributed to the warming of the planet, while concerted efforts to curb emissions having made, it's still right. It's the climate, the system of the climate means that there are effects of the past and current emissions that will still manifest for decades to come. When temperature rise and initiated, they have established momentum that is difficult to halt to reverse. This alarming trajectory has culminated in more frequent and severe extreme weather events, the rapid melting of polar ice, the rising sea levels, and they pose existential threats to both human and natural systems. The irreversible loss of that biodiversity is another stark consequence for our actions. Ecosystems once teeming with life have been transformed into shadowlands of their former selves. Species that took millions of years to evolve are vanishing in decades, and the intricate web of life is unraveling at an alarming pace. Once a species goes extinct, it's gone forever, leaving gaps in the ecosystem that may never be filled. The resilience and adaptability of ecosystems are stretched to their limits, threatening the very services that provide from clean water to pollination and that sustain the life on Earth. Also, I'll be talking about the depletion of resources, right? Both renewable and non-renewable. They pose a grave challenge. Fossil fuels, right? The lifeblood of industrialized societies are finite resources that are rapidly dwindling. The quest for ever dwindling reserves has led to geopolitical conflicts and environmental degradation, entrenching dependent on these sustainable energy resources. Simultaneously, renewable resources are overexploited, surpassing the Earth's capacity for regeneration. So this imbalance, aggravated by conspicuous consumption patterns and glaring disparities between populations, right, marginalized populations, they exacerbates the environmental quandary. The consequences of environmental damages, right? So that is not remote or abstract. They reverberate through our daily lives. So air pollution, right, fueled by fossil fuels combustion and industrial processes, cause respiratory diseases and shortens lifespans. Water pollution and the contamination poses severe health risks to those who lack access to clean water resources. Natural disasters, climate change, environmental damages, they are a social justice issue as they disproportionately affect marginalized communities, nations, people, right, that have contributed to the least to the problem. So when we're talking about the concept of a point of no return, it is crucial to recognize the urgency, right, to that addressing the environmental sustainability. It could not also not diminish. So I think it is really intensified at this point. The impending environmental damages should be served as a stark reminder that while some impacts are inevitable, further exacerbation can be prevented. So there are actions, right? Preservation of biodiversity. There are equitable resource use and a commitment of sustainable practices. They can still remain moral and ethical imperatives, right? So even with the shadow of daunting challenges, there could be a room for the shift in trajectory and commitment to the worst consequences of the actions. So in our discussion that follow, we'll delve deeper into the complexity in this argument, right? So exploring the daunting challenges and exploring the ethical and practical problems, right, in potential environmental catastrophe, while we navigate the uncharted waters of the world seemingly teetering on the brink. We call for actions echoing even louder, reminding us that the time for change is not past. It is just now more pressing than ever. I'll pass it over to the other side.
So the term sustainability seems ubiquitous these days, and it's appearing in the podcast, advertisement, or the fashion brand labels alike. According to the 1987 United Nations Commission, sustainability is defined as the meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So in the face of mounting environment challenges, growing global population and vast socio-economic disparities, this question arises: is the sustainability still possible? And I assert that sustainability is not only attainable, but also an essential course we must pursue. So beneath the shadow of climate change and resource depletion, the innovators are energizing background breaking innovations in technologies, forging paths to more resilient world. The contribution of the technological innovation is to enhance the resource efficiency, generate the renewable energy, and foster social equity. The essence of the technological innovation in the context of sustainability is that it provides a suite of potential and a vision for a more sustainable future, and human society as a whole need to employ it strategically for the greater good. And also one thing people should be aware is the interconnectedness of the planet ecological system. An action taken in one part of the world can have far-reaching impacts elsewhere. For example, the carbon dioxide emission from the industrialized countries could contribute to the global climate change that affects the entire planet and leading to a more severe weather events, sea level rise, and the disruption of the ecosystem. Consequently, the policies are increasing, mirroring the global consensus on the urgency of the intervention. Simultaneously, the societies around the world are also experiencing a shift as individuals, communities, and cities exemplify the sustainable living that can be integrated in the everyday life. Also, corporations have a massive impact on the sustainability through their operational decisions. The innovation in the technology and business models are prioritized sustainability can lead a significant change. Now, in different marketplace, sustainability has transitioned from a peripheral concern to a core business strategy, with evidence mounting that what is good for the planet can also be good for the bottom line. So throughout the dialogue, I will explore the myriad of the method that drive us towards sustainability and showcase a rich array innovation approach and adaptable practice. My stance is in the discussion of is sustainability still possible is unequivocally affirmative. The sustainable transcend wishful thinking. It is an essential progression for humanities as we adopt to live in a harmony with the resource of our extraordinary Earth. Our survival and prosperity hinge on our ability to embrace the sustainable living, not just as an idea, but as a fundamental trajectory for our continual existence on the planet.
Right. I will take it over now to bring it into my first point, which is climate change. Right. So I think that for climate change, it is undeniably the defining environmental challenge of our era right now, right? It serves as an alarming bellwether of the precarious state of environmental sustainability. So the consensus among scientists is it's really daunting to see, right? So human activities, they have significantly contributed to the alarming warming of our planet. Global data illustrates the gravity of the situation, with the average global temperature rising by about 1.2 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century. This concerning trajectory is accompanied by a host of sobering statistics and observable phenomena. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and severe, as witnessed by the record-breaking Atlantic hurricane season in 2020 and the devastating wildfires that ravaged in the Western United States. These events result in immediate loss of life, property, and livelihoods, with lasting economic and psychological impacts as well. So the cryosphere, which includes polar ice caps and glaciers, offer further evidence of the urgency to address climate change. The Arctic barometer of climate change is warming at more than twice the global average. Satellite observations since the 1979 has revealed a concerning decline in Arctic sea ice, reaching its second lowest extent in September 2020. The loss of ice is not only it doesn't only contribute to the rising sea level, but it also disrupts ecosystems, right? Sea level ice, a direct consequence of melting ice and seawater expansion, poses an existential threat to coastal regions and low-lying island nations. Global sea levels have risen by about 8 to 9 inches since 1880 and are currently increasing at a rate of approximately 1/8 of an inch per year. by 2100, sea levels could rise at an additional 1 to 4 feet, endangering millions and infrastructure. These observed climate changes are interconnected events that signify a looming environmental crisis affecting natural systems and human existence alike. Crop yields are increasingly vulnerable to extreme weather. Water scarcity looms due to altered rainfall patterns and climate-induced displacement exacerbates migration and instability. So, however, the current momentum of climate change is undeniable. The effects of past and present emissions will continue to impact our lives for decades. The inertia of the climate system makes reversing this course challenging. Effective climate action necessitates an unwavering commitment at all levels of society. The choices made today will determine whether we can mitigate the impacts set in motion, or if we persist on perilous trajectory. The question is whether we need the warnings of climate change or face dire consequences.
So continue with what Simon just said. I agree that the climate change is definitely one of the big challenge for the human today. But I want to say is the Earth has been in the solar system orbiting for about 4.6 billion years, and we human have been on this Earth for 3 million years. So I think and we should not to negate the previous human effort toward a sustainable development and reducing the environmental impact just because we do not see the results in the immediate future. I'm confident that with the help of technological innovations, efforts toward sustainability will be evident in the near future. So I will continue with my point about the technological innovation. So as we move forward in the 21st century, the potential for a sustainable future has never been more attainable. Advances in the technology have paving the way for substantial change in how we can approach the energy consumption, waste management, and the transportation, all which are critical to creating a more sustainable world. So firstly, for the rapid adoption of the electric vehicles, particularly in the transportations, it is a testament to the feasibility of sustainable urban mobility. Cities like many cities of China with their 300,000 electric buses showcase how to shift towards the electrification. It's not only technologically viable, but also the economically advantage due to the lower the total cost of ownership and reduce the dependency of the fossil fuel. This shift is echoed in the commercial sector with the emergence of the electric trucks, signify a impending transformation in the logistic and transportation industry that accounts for a significant share of global emissions. And also the advancement in the recycling of the plastic through the process like pyrolysis point toward a circular economy that tackle the waste and pollution with the potential to transform 260 million tons of plastic waste generate globally into economic opportunity. The narrative of sustainability is not only about the environmental stewardship, but also about the economic transformation. Furthermore, the growing accessibility of the solar power, especially in the region with the unelectrified population, show how renewable technology are not just the affluent or developed nations, they have become viable, cost-efficient solution that democratize the energy access, fostering the sustainable development in some of the world's most vulnerable communities. So in conclusion, the ongoing development in this area demonstrate a clear trajectory towards a sustainable future. They provide that sustainability is not only possible, it is unfolding before your eyes.
Right. So with the continuous innovation of technology, um, we can't forget, simply we can't forget the stressing reality of our biodiversity loss, right? So because of our actions, um, we can see in this depth of this sustainability crisis, right? So our planet's biodiversity have they already suffered significantly due to human influence, resulting in extensive ecological consequences. Notably, the rate of species extinction is estimated to be 100 to 1,000 times higher than natural rates, with over 500 vertebrate species extinct since the start of the 20th century. Coral reefs, renowned for their biodiversity, are under threat due to rising sea temperatures and ocean acidification, endangering countless species and the human communities that rely on them. Keystone species like wolves and pollinators such as bees and also are also dwindling, leading to ecological imbalances. The loss of the biodiversity affects essential ecosystem services, including water purification, soil fertility, and pollination. Ultimately, biodiversity loss undermines the resilience of ecosystems and disrupts their stability, making them more vulnerable to change like climate change. This ongoing crisis necessitates immediate and responsible action to safeguard countless species and the planet's ecological balance. So on top of that, there is also a significant resource depletion. For our resource depletion, there is a formidable obstacle to environmental sustainability, right? So our fossil fuels, they're vital to industrialized societies, they're also rapidly diminishing, with oil and natural gas reserves estimated to last 50 years only, while coal may endure approximately 150 years, according to the International Energy Agency, the IEA. The pursuit of these diminishing fossil fuels reserves intensifies global tensions and environmental degradation, reinforcing reliance on unsustainable energy resources. Simultaneously, renewable resources face the looming threat of exploitation, with humanity's ecological footprint exceeding the planet's biocapacity by over 56%. This imbalance is exacerbated by the stark disparity between the consumption patterns of affluent and the marginalized populations. For instance, the average American has an ecological footprint 5 times that of a person from India and 12 times a person from Bangladesh. Let's take water, for example, one of the most vital and infinite resources on Earth. As an example, the United Nations reports that over 2 billion people live in countries facing high water stress, with an estimated 1.8 billion people residing in regions with absolute water scarcity, projected by 2025. The overexploitation of water resources due to industrial and agricultural demands threatens both drinking water availability and ecosystems. Forests, essential for carbon and biodiversity conservation, are disappearing rapidly, with over 80,000 acres lost daily, according to the World Wildlife Fund. Resource depletion exacerbates other sustainability challenges, such as climate change through deforestation and the overharvesting of fish, jeopardizing marine ecosystems and food security for billions. The implication of resource depletion are far-reaching, affecting not only the environment but also the socioeconomic fabric of nations. To secure a sustainable future, transitioning towards a circular economy, improving resource efficiency, and reevaluating consumption patterns are essential. International cooperations and policy interventions are also critical in mitigating resource depletion, ensuring equitable access to resources and addressing disparities between nations. So therefore, in doing so, humanities can take a substantial step towards averting the impending environmental damages and safeguarding our planet's resources for generations to come.
Yes. So, from my point of view, it is a little arbitrary to say that biodiversity loss is irreversible, because just like the example we have learned from the class about the gray wolf reintroduction into the Yellowstone National Park, the establishment of the keystone species has had a positive cascading effect on the entire ecosystem, demonstrating that the reintroductory program can restore some part of ecological balance. And so continue with my next point. People are raising their awareness of the sustainability. So human is the center of the sustainability, and any solution to the sustainability problem therefore should not infringe the human welfare. People's action and population dynamic are critical to the sustainability because they are at the heart of both pressures placed on our planet and the solution to alleviate those pressures. Therefore, achieving sustainability requires a concerted effort to foster environmentally responsible behavior among the individuals, while also addressing population dynamic through the policies and education that promote the family planning, women's empowerment, and equitable resources distribution. So since the COVID-19, people's awareness of the environment has been raised. A Boston consulting group survey found that after the pandemic start, more people, about 70%, understand that what we can do can hurt the climate. And they also see that when the environment suffers, our health does too. So most people now taking care of the environments, it is just as important, if not more, than the health issues. So because of the increased awareness, lots of people in the surveys is 4 out of 10 wants to start doing more help the planet, and like saving the energy, recycling, and buy things from local stores, etc. Many people believe that when we plan to fix economy after the COVID-19, we should make sure to think about the environment. So the survey also shows that the people in governments and business could do a better job dealing with the environmental issues, especially when compared with the health workers and nonprofits are handling sustainable things. So young people in particular are ready to live in the way that are better for the planet. What this tells us is that the pandemic might actually be pushing people to care more about the living sustainability, which could change the way that the policy are made and how business work in the future to make it provide more benefit for our environment.
So the ramifications of environmental damages are palpable and pervasive in our daily lives. Air pollution, right? the fossil fuel combustions and with industrial processes, they have a severe toll on public health. The WHO, right, estimates that air pollution causes 7 million premature deaths each year with respiratory diseases, cardiovascular complications, and lung cancer, ranking among the leading resources. They reduce life expectancy as well, right? Then we got water pollution. They there are reasons without access to clean water resources. And the United Nations Children's Fund reports that approximately 2.2 billion people worldwide lack safely managed drinking water services. Natural disasters as well, with the increasing climate change carrying the profound implications. There are displaced communities, loss of life. Also, there are extreme heat waves, making them frequent and severe. So there are intensified hurricane and typhoons, right? The destructing lives, the communities, houses. These impacts bear down the marginalized communities and accentuating social injustice in environmental damages. I want to mention the point that it is there. This is the call to action. There are challenges and there's this urgency of addressing environmental sustainability. They remain undiminished. I think climate action stands out as a critical imperative in this context. There is a radical shift in trajectory. So this is necessary and it's possible. So I think that by addressing environmental damages, it is not compartmentalized endeavor. It is an intricate, it is an interwoven challenge that necessitates comprehensive solutions. And it entails robust policies to curb emissions, transition to renewable energy resources, safeguard biodiversity, and ensure equitable access to resources. I think with the point of no return, it might seem like a daunting shadow, right? So to close my argument, I want to say that this is a moment for humanity to unite, right? Take resolute action. The environmental damages that loom on the horizon underscores the moral and ethical climate action. So the choices made today will resonate through the annals of history, shaping the fate of our planet and generations yet to come. So I'll give it over for our conclusion.
So for my last point, I want to mention is we are creating more sustainable economy. So based on the survey from KPMG, it indicates that a positive trend in sustainability reporting around among the world top companies, with steady increase over the past decade. As of 2022, 79% of N100 companies and 96% of the G250 companies report on sustainability. The Asian Pacific region is particularly active with the strongest presence. And sustainability reporting is increasing integrated with the financial data, especially among the 100 companies in the Middle East and Asia Pacific, where it's 55% and 30%. And to expanding on the adoption of sustainability reporting by the world's leading companies is a tangible indicator that achieving sustainability is within reach. This tends to suggest that cooperation are acknowledging their environmental and social footprints and recognize the strategic importance of the sustainable practice. As transparency becomes a stable, it fosters a culture of accountability, encouraging companies to implement eco-friendly and socially responsible process. And the data and insight gleaned from these reports are invaluable, allowing for benchmarking and sharing the best practice that can drive industry-wide shift toward more sustainable operations. This movement also reflects the changing stakeholders' expectations, with consumers, investors, and the governments increasingly demand that the companies not only report on financial performance, but also demonstrate their environmental impact. So the proliferation of sustainability reporting significantly that the corporation are not just passively complying with these expectations, but are actively seeking to contribute to more sustainable future, thus serving as a bellwether for the potential of sustainable development on the global scale. So for conclusion, so based on the technological innovation on the different resources problems and the raising of people's awareness, and also the people's trend to create more sustainable economy. So my stand is the sustainability is still possible.
Hey, great. Well, is that it? Well, I think that's about it for both of us. Um, it is such a great discussion. I mean, it is so informative and it's so interesting to have these both sides, that we can be here and talk about this problem. Definitely, we're more than interested to see what our classmates have to say to the both of our sides, and we'll be checking in the discussion under our video. So after they see, they can send something into the discussion board, and we'll check it out. So that's it for our presentation, our discussion. I mean, um, thank you.
Thanks for watching.